Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I wanted to go over what political ideologies are and what kind of ideology you might follow personally. Of course, the nature of the channel, super fascist, is fascism. If you can think of a compass, north, south, east and west, north is authoritarianism and south is libertarianism. Authoritarian and libertarianism are completely opposites, as are north and south. Authoritarianism is the complete government control. There is no such thing as personal freedom. No one is independent, and the government makes all decisions based on everyone's lives. In contrast to this, libertarianism is the complete freedom of a person's being and no government control at all whatsoever. In fact, it's arguable that there is no government at all to begin with. Like, there is no governing body. Everyone is independent. And, complete libertarianism and complete economic freedom, right-wing economy. Better go over east and west. East is left, okay? Left-winged economic. And west is right-wing economic. Left-wing is complete government control over every dollar made. If you are completely 100% left, then you support 100% government taxation. Basically, there's not even a currency. There is just simply the act of working, and then every single bit of the fruit of your labor is gone straight to the government. There are what are they called? Protectionist policies to support local businesses, apparently, as well as quite isolationist policy. However, on the opposite hand, right-wing economic freedom is not basically every dollar you make is yours. If you work 10 hours for $10, you get $100. There's absolutely zero government taxation, as well as there is no such thing as basically economic policy. There is like a complete freedom for worldwide corporations to come in and essentially set up shop inside your country, and that could be good, except for that encourages monopolies and bad business practices. If you're a right winger, you also do not support any basically what are they called? Like trade restrictions. Your business is free to do whatever as it pleases. If you're a restaurant and you're under a completely right-winged government, then there is no such thing as a cleanliness standard. Whereas in a completely left-wing, there is a lot of policy like that. Like the EU currently, there's like a 20,000 word policy on the sale and distribution of cabbages. Like, that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Now, if you can think of a political ideology, let's say fascism for the nature of this channel, fascism and communism, as much as they are at odds with each other, they do not fit into this particular political spectrum. If they did, fascism would be center authoritarian, completely authoritarian, and communism would be completely top left. Or Stalinist communism, I suppose, would be completely top left. Leninist communism would be completely left, and anarcho-communism would be completely bottom left, or southwest. Yeah, southwest. What was I going with this? If you believe in complete freedom, of absolutely everything, you would be south east, which makes you a anarchist. Some examples of an anarchist government would be like the Stone Age, as well as what's popular culture? Mad Max, I suppose. That'd be a good example. Yeah, the only problem with anarchy is there has to be some sort of governing body to enforce anarchy, if that makes sense. Otherwise, there is like no reason for a body of people to come in and essentially start ruling, because there is no organized body to stop them. Whereas in a communist environment, completely top left, Stalinist communism, excuse me, there is no such thing as a government. Oh, how do I go about this? There is no such thing as a insurgency. Communism is like what, for the people, by the people, for the worker or whatever, hammer and sickle and all that shit. So there is no need for an insurgency. Essentially, there is no government in true communism. That's basically what true democracy is as well. They're kind of not mutually exclusive. They're kind of the same thing. True democracy is a ruling of the people, and so is communism, essentially at its core. To go through a I'll go from the top left all the way clockwise. Top left is completely Stalinist communism. That is authoritarian left, which means you have no personal freedom, and every dollar you make goes straight to the government. Essentially, that makes you a robot, human robot, and everything you do is for the state and for the good of the state. And that state is everyone. Essentially, communism is a funny little ideology, because at its core, if every country was communist, well, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I might do another video on it. Might script it, because it's really in depth. Essentially, the Communist Manifesto. Anyway, continuing on. Top left. Everything you do is for the state. You have no personal freedom. You're a complete robot. Going to the right, if you are centre right, you are a fascist, complete authoritarian. You have no personal freedom, and like I said, it's hard to put it into the political spectrum, because it completely defies everything to do with the political spectrum, political compass. If you're a fascist, then you support nationalism, so completely isolationist trade policies, but it's also socialist in some form, because of like free Medicare, free education, that sort of thing. It's kind of funny, but if you put all the protectionist trade policy, the socialism, as well as fascist government's alliance with big business, it would be moderate authoritarian. Going top right, I actually have no clue how to explain this. Basically, if you're authoritarian right, I would say like the best way to explain it would be the Imperium of Man from Warhammer 40k, or the Empire from Star Wars. I think if that's not a good way to describe it, because I can't like actually think of a government that's actually used this political ideology before. Basically, you have no individual freedom, but every dollar you make is for you. So it's kind of like almost backwards in a way. It's strange, because essentially what this means is you're born and bred to do a job, and if you do it well, you get lots and lots of money, which you can spend freely. You have no individual rights, which means that everything you do is for the state. And it's kind of weird, but it would be very good in practice, you would think, because it it supports hard work and powerful government, which means that it's inherently expansionist, which means that the government always gets bigger, more people under the rule, etc., etc. Moving on, completely right. I've already talked about it. Moderate right is complete economic freedom, etc. You can go back in the video if you want to go over that again. What's that? Bottom right, anarchy. I already talked about that a bit, so I won't go over that again. Completely south, libertarianism. Alright, libertarianism is complete freedom. You have all rights to yourself. There is no such thing as law. This essentially means that every rule that you abide by today would be completely abolished. It means that there is complete personal freedom. So things like the sexuality debate, gay marriage, it's completely legal because there is no law, right? Everyone is free to do whatever they want. This also gives way to things that are morally and ethically questionable, such as pedophilia and murder. Considering there is no law, there is also no governing body to enforce any laws to begin with. So, it's kind of up to humanism. What's it called? Utilitarianism. It's totally up to people to do with their country as they will, which is kind of a scary thought. On the contrast, authoritarianism will always support strong leadership and charismatic people with good morals. Libertarianism doesn't have any leaders, so there is no such thing as morals in a libertarian government. Moving on. Bottom left is anarcho-communism, which means there is no such thing as a governing body, but all your money is taken for the people. The easiest way to explain this is if you're in a community of farmers, every dollar, you're completely free to do whatever you want with your farm, but you have to give everything on your farm to the community, right? So think of it like there's a big red barn with all the hay and wheat in the community, and you want to make watermelons. So you make those watermelons and you put it in the barn, and then anybody can freely take whatever they want from that barn. The only problem with this is that it doesn't enforce people to grow things, which means there's a lot of mass shortages in actual southwest governments like Venezuela at the moment. It kind of leads to a few problems, but under the right circumstances, i.e. an extremely low population, which you can keep track of what people are doing, it's not bad. Like, under the right circumstances, any government is good, but this one has a very unique situation in which it is only ever good. Like a farming community. Moving on, completely west, talked about that already. All of your money is the government's. There's no such thing as a currency. And then, yeah, that's basically full circle. So, where I stand, fascist, completely authoritarian. I took a quiz, and it turns out that more top and then center left, because I agree with National Socialism, so free healthcare, free education, things like that. But again, a nationalist environment is only for people within that nation. So I don't know. There is an idea going around in my head that if you take National Socialism again and you remove the imperial aspect of it, which is the annexation of Poland, etc., things like that, then it would essentially be the most flawless system of economic policy, in my opinion. I've met someone before who thinks communism is the best because everything for each other and that, but there are just some people that are ethically questionable, and I don't agree with that. Anyway, that just about covers everything. Well, not everything, but most of the important shit that you need to know. So yeah, see ya.